June 7th, 1992, Springfield, Missouri. Graduation parties fill the night air. But by the next morning, 3 women will have vanished, leaving behind a house full of eerie signs and a mystery that still chills investigators to this day. The Springfield Three were 47-year-old Cheryl Levitt, her 19-year-old daughter Susie Streeter, and Susie's best friend, 18-year-old Stacy McCall. The night before, Stacy and Susie had been celebrating their high school graduation. Their plan was to spend the night at a friend's house, but at the last minute, they decided to go back to Susie and Cheryl's home. The next morning, friends arrived to pick the girls up for a trip to a water park. But when they knocked, no one answered. Inside, they found all 3 women's purses, makeup, and personal belongings, even their cars, still there. The front porch light was shattered, the blinds in the living room bent, and Cheryl's bed appeared to have been slept in. But there were no signs of a struggle. Police quickly determined this was no ordinary disappearance. Phone lines had been answered and erased from the answering machine. Multiple people had entered the home before police arrived, possibly disturbing evidence. Despite this, law enforcement pursued hundreds of tips, from suspicious vehicles to reported sightings, but nothing stuck. One theory centers on a convicted kidnapper named Robert Craig Cox, who has hinted at knowing what happened, but refuses to give details. Others suspect the women were abducted by multiple offenders, possibly taken to a remote location in the Ozarks. A controversial tip in 2007 suggested the women were buried in a parking garage, but ground-penetrating radar scans were inconclusive. Friends later recalled the shattered porch light as unusual. The bent blinds suggested someone may have been peeking out, or forced to, and the fact that all 3 vanished at once points to a coordinated abduction. To this day, police have not found any physical evidence tying a suspect to the scene. The Springfield Three case has been featured on America's Most Wanted, People Magazine Investigates, and countless podcasts. Despite national attention, the case remains open, with the Springfield police still fielding new tips each year. 30 years later, the fate of Cheryl Levitt, Susie Streeter, and Stacy McCall remains a painful mystery. The house they vanished from is just another home in Springfield now, but for those who remember, it will always be the place where 3 lives disappeared into the dark.